And
it depends upon you, not on me.
yes. Is there anybody who wants to ask a special question, Mr. Yuchi? Otherwise, I will ask a question.
Go ahead.
There's one thing wandering me all the time, and that is, I was always told that people, mankind, has a certain purpose in creation. And since I read your books, I started to wonder whether this was true. So maybe you can talk something
You are the one to answer that question.
Yes.
So we don't give a damn, tinker's damn. If I may use that harsh expression, what others have said about it. And how does it interest whether what they said is true or not true? It's up to you to find out. I can say that there is no purpose here. If there is any purpose, we have no way of knowing it at all. And we repeat what we have been told, and we are made to believe that there is a purpose. And that is the one that is responsible for the tragedy of mankind today. We have been made to believe that we are created for a grander purpose, for a nobler purpose, other than all the species on this planet. And they did not stop there. They also told us that the whole creation was created for the benefit of man. And so that is the reason why we have created all these problems, the ecological problems, the problems of pollution. And we are almost at a point where we are going to blow ourselves up. The planet is not in danger, but we are in danger. For this planet, you can pollute, you can create all kinds of things, it can absorb everything. And even these human bodies, if we are wiped out, if we are destroyed, nature knows what to do with these human bodies. It's going to recycle to maintain the energy level in the universe. That's all it is interested in. So we are no more purposeful, meaningful, and we are not created for any purpose, any grander purpose, other than you see the ants that are there, or the flies that are hovering around you, or the mosquitoes that are sucking your blood. I can say that, but what do you have to say? That's more important than what I have to say. We really don't know. We have no way of knowing anything. Even the scientists, you can say what they like, but how does it interest us? How this whole universe was created, whether God created it, or the whole thing came out of some dust and pebbles and hydrogen atoms somewhere. It really doesn't interest us. You see, it is for them to talk about it every now and then, come up with some new theories, and then they will be amply rewarded, and they will be given Nobel Prize. That's all that. It really doesn't interest us. It doesn't help us to understand anything. So I really don't know if there is any purpose. I don't think there is any purpose. I do not see any purpose. I do not see any meaning or any purpose in life. A living thing, a living organism is not interested in asking that question, what is the purpose of life? What is the meaning of life?
So you can create your own purpose. It doesn't matter.
So we are not satisfied with the daily grind of our lives. Doing the same thing over and over again. We are bored. So boredom is responsible for asking these questions. What is the purpose? If that is all that is there, what is there for us to do? That's all that is there.
If there's nothing to do, then why not create your own purpose? Like
you create a problem and then try to solve the problem. That's
well, that's right.
What
else are we going to do?
Enjoy your problems.
No.
Why not?
No, certainly.
Yes. Enjoy them.
Enjoy them.
Yes, sir. Don't go to a therapist, don't go to a psychiatrist.
No, he won't be able to help.
You know, he will take $100, and I don't know how much they charge here.
Same thing, I guess.
Probably more here in this country. You know, they tell you, see how you can fit into the value system that is created by our culture, society, or whatever you want to call it. That is really the human problem. You know, the one basic question which every intelligent man should ask for himself, or intelligent woman should ask for herself is, what kind of a human being you want on this planet. Unfortunately, the religious thinking of man for centuries has placed before us the model of a perfect being. The nature is not interested in perfect being. The nature is not interested in the cultural input there. That's the battle that is going on there. So the demand by our society or culture to fit everybody into that value system created by our society, placing before us the model of a perfect being, is really the cause of man's tragedy. So it's not a question of destroying the value system or revolting against the value system, but the impossibility of fitting yourself into that framework created by your culture is really the problem. So the thought is really the enemy. The thought can only create problems, it cannot solve the problems at all. That's all that I'm trying to say.
There was one sentence, you said, man was bored.
You are bored, or you are...
I'm bored.
Yeah, because you see, thought is a repetitive process. It repeats over and over and over again. So it is wearing you out.
Doing the same thing, I get bored, and I want to invent things.
You invent all kinds of things.
Now, there isn't any animal that gets bored.
No, not at all.
Why does man get bored?
Because man feels that there is something more interesting, more meaningful, more purposeful to do than what he's actually doing. Anything you want more than the basic needs creates this boredom for the human beings. Anything you want more than that. Is that all? That's all that is there. The nature is interested in only two things: to survive and to reproduce one life. That's all it is interested in. Anything you superimpose on that, all the cultural input is responsible for the boredom of man. So you have varieties of religious experiences. You are not satisfied with your own religious upbringing. So you bring from India, from Asia, from Japan, from China, all kinds of things. You see, that's very interesting, something new there. You see, you pick up a new language and then try to talk and use that language and feel important. Basically, it is the same.
Christianity tells us to develop our talents. And I think you need no talent to reproduce.
No talent. The nature has done a tremendous job in creating extraordinary piece like that you see that is sitting there. It does not want to know anything. It does not want to learn anything from the culture. It doesn't want to know anything from us. So we are always interested in telling this body how to function. All your experiences are the basic cause of our suffering. You see, it is not interested in your bliss. It is not interested in your ecstasy. It is not interested in your pleasure. It is not interested in anything that you are interested in. That's the battle that is going on there all the time. And there seems to be no way out.
But everybody wants to get back to this original state.
What is the original state?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to
It's already there. You don't have to do a thing to go back to the original state.
How can you get into the frame of mind?
It is
We all
already
seem to believe that we have to do something to get back into that original.
because if you don't do something to go back to your original state, which is already there, is the very thing that is destroying the original state.
True.
Yes, it is expressing itself in an extraordinarily intelligent way. The acquired intellect is no match to the intelligence that is there.
I totally agree. But somehow we still lost touch.
Somehow we say that is the cultural input.
We lost touch with that highly functioning.
Because the culture, the society has placed before us the model of a perfect being. Nature does not imitate anything, does not use anything as a model.
So you can say that all the approaches that mankind has used up to today, which you in your books obviously disregard as being total false and nonsense, aren't working.
They haven't worked, they haven't touched there.
Well, I agree with that, but you have no new model either.
So what is the point in placing before you another model? It will be the same.
I agree on that.
Yes.
But where does that leave us?
No. It leaves you where you actually stand And questions.
chair. That's it.
Okay.
Don't ask those questions. They say, you have no questions, I have no questions. I have no questions at all, other than the basic questions we need to ask. I'm here and I want to get the bearings of this place, so I wanted to go out and find out. And I suddenly discovered that it's not far from the center there. You see? And so that's all. Where is the station? I want to go to London. See, I have a ticket. So where is the British Airways office? I go there. That's all. These basic questions we need to ask to function sanely and intelligently in this world. I do have to accept the reality of the world as it is imposed on us. Otherwise, we will go crazy. That's all. That's all. But if you question the reality of anything that is imposed on us, we are in trouble. Because there is no such thing as reality, let alone the ultimate reality. You have no way of experiencing the reality of anything. You have invented the reality.
Right.
Yes.
And then
Otherwise,
the difference from every person.
Otherwise, you have no way of experiencing the reality of anything, the reality of that person sitting there, your own physical being. You have no way of experiencing that at all, except through the help of the knowledge that is put in there. So there may not be any such thing as reality at all, let alone the ultimate reality. Now I do have to accept the fact that you are a man, that she's a woman. That's all. There it stops. But what is the reality you are talking about? You tell me.
Well, the reality is a woman.
Huh?
So there's a great reality to me.
Sure, yes. If you question that, you will be in trouble. You will lose your woman. And the woman will lose you. You are not ready for that. That's it. I have said my
So
piece.
being born, you have to be taught.
Are you sure that you are born? Are you sure that you are born?
Tell me.
We were told. We were told that. You know,
You take it for granted.
we take it for granted. We have no way,
No.
of finding out the fact that you were born
Well,
on a particular day.
in some states, they told you are taught some things to be able to go around in this culture. Yes?
What we are not ready to accept is that you are an exact thing like a computer. You are so mechanical. Everything is put in there. There is nothing which you can call your own. I don't have any thought which I can call my own. What I want to emphasize to those people who come to see me is that the thoughts are not really spontaneous. They are not self-generated. They always come from outside. And one important thing for us to realize and understand is that the brain is not a creator. It is similarly incapable of creating anything. We have taken for granted that it is something extraordinary, that it is creating all kinds of things that we are so proud of. It is similarly incapable of creating anything. It is just a reactor and a container. It plays a very, very minor role in this living organism.
We are creating things.
Huh? You are not creating.
Are we creating cars, cameras?
The computer, you see, that is only if you trial and error, you create something. So. But there are no thoughts there. There is no thinker there. See, the thinker is where are the thoughts? Have you ever tried to find out the thoughts at all? What is there is only about thought, but not thought. You cannot separate yourself from the thought and look at it. And what is happening there is about, what you see there is about thought, but not thought.
So somebody says,
So you are using those thoughts to achieve certain results, to attain certain things, to become somebody other than what you actually are. You see, I always give the example of a word finder. You want to know the meaning of a word. You see, press the word, God. It says Satchit. So it is not thinking about it. If there is any information there, put in there, it comes out with the information. That's exactly the way you are thinking. You ask questions, and the answers, if there are any there, you give the answer. If the answers are not there, it is silent. It's no different from a computer.
You said when you came here, you went around just to find out the surroundings.
The bearings, so that I may not get lost here. Even a dog does it. It's no different from a dog. The dog knows its way back home. The dog knows the master.
Yes. So
I'm just an animal.
When I was a little kid, people, my parents and people around, told me the bearings of this culture. Yes. And now I find myself difficult functioning in this culture.
Yeah, but
so they taught me too much. Yes.
Yeah, they don't want you to question. They are responsible. You see, they force everything that they believe. Really, they force things on us, the things that they themselves don't believe, the things that they don't operate in their lives. There's no use blaming them. We are grown-ups, we are adults, so we don't have to blame them. You see, this is a silly idea, the Freudian idea or some nonsense that is everything. Your mother is responsible, your father is responsible. We are all grown-up people. There is no point in blaming our mothers and fathers. It's not a one-way thing. You see, even the children want to be accepted by us. We force them to fit into this frame, but they want to be accepted by us. This is a two-way thing. It's not a one-way thing at all. That's it. Enough. Nice meeting you, Colin. Goodbye. I repeat the same thing again and again and again in 10 different ways. You know?
10 only.
100 different ways. I have quite a very rich vocabulary. So you can use different words to say the same thing. That's it. Isn't that enough? Bye-bye.
So I have no way of knowing what I see, for example.
You never see anything.
No.
Never. The physical eye sees things, it does not see. You know, there is no way you can separate yourself from what you are looking at. We have only these sensory perceptions. And these sensory perceptions do not tell anything about that is a camera. You know, the moment you recognize that as a camera, as a Sony camera, as the latest in the market, high 8, so you have separated yourself from that. So what you are actually doing is, you are translating the sensory perception within the framework of the knowledge you have of that. So we never look at anything. It is too dangerous to look at that because that looking destroys the continuity of this thought. I don't know if I make this up. It's that one that you see we are not ready for.
So we see the story instead of...
We project the knowledge we have of that. It's what we are told on the object you are looking at. Even if you say it's an object, even without calling it a camera, it is good for a philosophy student, to talk everlastingly. Separating the object, separating the word from the thing, and go on and on and on. But actually, if you say it's an object, you have already separated yourself from it. Even if you don't give a name to it, recognizing that as something, even without giving a name to it, calling it a camera, video camera, you have already separated yourself.
It's funny, when you start to give different names, just out of the blue, then you start to see it differently.
It's already there. It's already there in the computer.
Yeah.
We are not conscious of the fact that we have all that information locked up there in the computer.
Yeah.
Suddenly it comes out, we think it is something original, and you think that you are looking at it for the first time in your life. You are not looking at it for the first time in your life. Supposing somebody tells you that this is something new, what's going on is they're trying to relate what he calls new within the framework of the old knowledge you have about it.
So if it is not in the computer, you cannot see it.
The information is not there. There is no way you can see it. There is only a reflection of the object on the retina. And even this statement given to us by the scientists, who have done a lot of observation and research, no way of experiencing that fact for yourself.
No.
Because the stimulus and response is one unitary movement there. The moment you separate yourself, you have created a problem. You may talk of the unity of light, oneness of light, and all that kind of guff and nonsense. But there is no way, you see, you can create that unitary movement through any effort of yours. So what is the interest for anybody who is interested in finding out what this is all about is to find out for himself or herself, by herself, right, is to watch how this separation is occurring, how you are separating yourself from the things that are happening around you, the things that are happening inside of you. So there is no difference between the outside and the inside. It's the thought that creates the frontiers and tells that this is inside. If you tell yourself that you are happy, that you are miserable, that you are bored, you have already separated yourself from that particular sensation that is there inside of you. If you say that you are bored, you have separated yourself from that.
So we by naming our sensations, our physical processes,
we maintain the separation, a non-existing identity.
Yeah.
You see, that's the reason why you have to use constantly the memory, which is nothing but, you see, the neurons there.
And the cells
maintain your identity.
And the cells react to what we think?
The cells are wearing out. So the tragedy that is facing mankind is Alzheimer's disease, because if we are using these neurons, the memory, constantly to maintain that identity, whether you are awake or asleep or dreaming. You don't have to dream. See, through dreaming you are maintaining this identity, what you call you, as you know yourself, as you experience yourself. So that is the reason why it is wearing us out, you know.
So you're continuously resisting in a way.
Continuously maintaining the continuity of
your ideas.
What you know and what you experience.
Yeah,
without the knowledge, you have no way of experiencing anything.
No.
So there is no such thing as a new experience at all.
No.
The moment you tell yourself that's a new experience, it is the old that tells that's a new experience. Otherwise, you have no way of saying that's something new.
No.
It's the old that tells that it is new. And through that, it is making part of the world. The only way it can maintain its continuity is through this constant demand to know. If you don't know what you are looking at, the you know, as you know yourself, the you as you experience yourself, is coming to an end. That's the death. There is only death, there is no other death.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
The fear of losing what you know.
Yeah.
So actually and factually, you do not want to be free from the fear. You do not want the fear to come to you. All that you are doing, all the therapies, all the techniques that you are using to free yourself from fear, for whatever reason you want to be free from fear, is the thing that is maintaining and giving continuity to the fear. So you do not want the fear to come to an end. If the fear comes to an end, the fear of what you know comes to an end, you will drop dead there, physically. A clinical death will take place. So you do not want the fear to come to you. The fear of what you know, of yourself and the world around you. The fear of your experiencing things in you. That you do not want to come to an end.
How can you get physically dead when you lose a concept? Because the I is a concept.
The I, once the I is gone, there is no way of experiencing your own body anymore. You have no way of knowing whether you are alive or dead.
Yeah.
This is my body, you will never be able to tell yourself. I may say that if you ask me that your body or my body, just to communicate to you, to differentiate that it is not your body but my body, that's all there is to it. For purposes of communication, I say that this is my body. But the fact that this is my body is something which cannot be experienced by me. Basta. Thank you. That will be.
Great.
But I wonder, is friction. Huh? So there's a friction, you can say, between the natural state, or what we have no idea about, and what we think, the thoughts.
Yes.
So there is a certain...
This is not concerned about what you think, what you feel, what you experience. All our feelings are thoughts.
Yeah.
There is no way you can feel anything without giving the name to it.
Yeah, so as soon as there's a process in our body, we give it a name.
Name. Any movement there.
You say,
What if you just let it happen?
Huh?
What if you let
You
it
can't leave that alone.
you can leave it alone.
Lose the identity.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't leave your
Give
identity.
it always a name.
If you don't know,
Yes.
no, it's too dangerous. You see, they don't think that it is as simple as that. If you don't know what you are looking at, you may tell yourself that you don't know what you are looking at, but if you are looking at your girl and tell yourself that you do not know, that's the end of the whole story. I tell you, it's too dangerous. Don't play with that kind of a thing. You can sit there and look at the camera. I don't know what I am looking at. See, but that's a trick. You create a state of mind and believe that you do not know what you are looking at. But actually, factually, in a given situation, if you do not know what you are looking at, there is trouble there. So you dare not put yourself in that situation. You can play with it and see games.
So the perception, we have no way of knowing that this is not an illusion.
No. Even if you say it's an illusion, then you are giving a name to it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, that's not what the word illusion means. See, in India they use the word illusion, Maya they call it, you see. Maya is to measure. That's the meaning of the word. So there is no way you can measure anything unless there is a space. There is a point here. At the moment the thought takes its birth there, the point that is the point, and you create another point and try to measure. So thought creates a space.
Yeah.
So anything you experience from that point is an illusion. But somebody coming with a gun to shoot you, if you say that's an illusion, you are a damn fool.
Yeah.
You have to protect yourself, you know. But it does not mean that the whole world is an illusion. No, not at all. Not at all. Whatever you experience of the world, whatever you experience of yourself as an entity is an illusion, because that experience is born of the knowledge that is put in there. Actually, no way of experiencing the reality is anything.
So if you have a different knowledge, you have a different experience.
No, wait, see. It does not really mean it is different. It depends upon what you are interested in.
Yeah.
You know, the computer, for example, a scientist puts in scientific data, a businessman puts in business data, an artist puts in something else. That's all that is there. But
And then
functioning
he attracts that in a way.
that's all.
Yeah.
The printout is what is put in there.
Yeah.
And it depends upon your particular interest. You are a mathematician, you are a scientist, you are a writer. That's all.
So if you change the input, something else will materialize.
No, if you change the material, you replace it with some other material. It depends upon whatever you are interested in.
Yeah, right.
That's all.
But if it's purely a physical thing, then how can you do things to change it? Like
You have not succeeded in changing anything there.
Yeah, but for example,
You don't realize that all your attempt to bring about a change is a total failure. What an amount of energy you put into it.
well, that's not really true, because since I stopped eating meat and drinking alcohol, I feel a lot better.
You feel good because you have given up meat eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, you feel good and enjoy that.
So it was definitely.
What's the difference? Why you feel so good because you have given up meat?
Well, it's a physical. I feel that I feel better.
That's a psychological authority to use that word.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if I have a hangover in the morning, it's not psychological, it's pain.
If you want to go back to eating meat, that's a different story. If there is a craving, it creates a problem. If there is no craving, what's the difference? Whether you eat vegetables, one form of life lives on another form of life. How many millions of bacteria are crawling all over your body? The flora and the fauna. You'll be surprised if they are magnified. Look at them under a magnified glass. They are as big as cockroaches. They live on you.
I agree.
When this becomes a corpse, they will have a field day on this point.
But you say what happened to you is purely a physical thing, right?
Yes. What else is there?
Right, so I say there's no way to speed this up by doing certain things.
That's your particular fancy. You want to eat microbiotic food, or somebody else wants to eat something else, somebody wants to eat vegetarian stuff, somebody else wants to eat something else, what's the difference? That body can live on sawdust and glue. You shoot all these nutritionists on site, all these commercials.
Well, I live it. You're probably right, they're making a living out of it. True.
Let them make a living out of it. But we are the suckers.
But it's still true that if you don't eat for 14 days or 3 weeks, then you die.
No. There is no death for this body. After 3 days,
well, anyway, change the
after 3 days, there is no way you can feel the hunger. What is hunger after all? The level of glucose goes down.
Right.
Yes, after 2 days, 3 days, you don't feel hunger.
Okay.
It lives on itself.
Then suddenly, after a while, when you stop eating water or food, it changes
Water,
form.
you need to drink water. Otherwise, after 72 hours, you are gone. The dehydration takes place. Because 80% in that body is water.
True. So
not only there, in every plant, every form of life, on this planet also 80% is water. So water is more important than
it still means that water and food mean something to the body.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Because if it doesn't, then you change form. You say you don't die, and you use all that. You don't die, you change form. That happens because you stop feeding it food and water.
Yes. So why should you feed the body? The body is not concerned.
You feed the body.
Yeah, because I will have to shit here and pee here.
No, we all feed the body. I mean, I agree with you on all.
I'm sorry to use such a crude example. So the body needs some energy. And that energy you can have from anything you eat. Sawdust, that's enough. Not the health food, vitamin C and your brown rice and the seaweed.
I think the body will definitely respond to what you eat.
Not at all. That's your feeling, your ideas. It doesn't give a damn.
Yeah, and it's your idea as well.
Yeah, you see, you put ideas in your stomach, first of all, you eat ideas.
Most people eat menu.
You can eat ideas. Good luck to you. I survive without eating vitamins. I don't eat vegetables. I don't eat fruits. I don't eat brown rice. I survived 73 years. What is wrong with me?
Yeah, we are human.
I'm also human, more human than most humans are.
I agree.
I
can feel your presence. You're much more alive than most people are.
I don't eat ideas. I don't wear names.
It's true, but I mean, let me. I want to get into this a bit further because if you have a lion, he eats meat, right? But we as a
if I'm hungry, probably I will kill you and eat you.
Sure. Listen. You agree yourself that the human being itself is a
because you have been feeding that body on macrobiotic diet, it will do more harm than good.
No, but I mean, you yourself said that the human being is a highly functioning organism, right?
Yes.
That's probably the.
It knows what is good for it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't like it, rejects.
But apparently that's not true.
No apparent. It rejects the solid.
Apparently there is something that is good for a human in compared to a lion.
Alcohol is genetically programmed that way. Yes.
I still believe that there is certain food.
You can believe whatever you want to believe. I am not saying that somebody else believes in something else. So it is the belief that matters to people. So you replace one belief with another belief. You are brought up on meat, and why you should eat a macrobiotic diet today? You have changed one belief into another belief. And you feel good. Feel good. And enjoy. All right.
Yeah, believe you feel good.
Is that positive?
Yeah, but
No.
thinking is either positive or negative. That's all. As long as you think, it is either positive thinking or negative thinking. When once the positive approach fails, you have invented what is called negative thinking. but the goal is exactly the same. You know.
So differentiation. But you said that although we see the world as an illusion,
No, I'm not.
it is not an illusion.
You experience the world as an illusion. When you don't experience the way you are experiencing things through the help of the knowledge that is put in there, you have no way of finding out anything about it.
But at the same time,
You are more like
reality.
No, because it is responding to the stimuli. It's a living thing. By calling something beautiful, you have destroyed that. You have put the whole thing in a frame and say it is beautiful. If you don't say it is beautiful, it is having an effect on this body. It is responding to the stimulus there. You take a deep breath, that's all. Nothing else.
But why doesn't that go for food then? Why doesn't a certain food go a certain
You
stimulus?
put these ideas, you have put ideas into the whole thing. The moment you say how to live and what to eat, you have created the problem.
If I bring a kid to a wolf and the kid grows up like a wolf and eats that kind of food, there's no problem with it.
But it becomes
But then
a
it
wolf.
becomes a wolf.
It becomes a wolf.
Well, that's the whole point of
That's
the
the
trying to
point.
make.
Yeah.
I believe that there is certain things
What is the
human
difference
food.
between you and
the wolf. He has no idea.
I believe that there's certain things human food.
It makes
A human being eats rare grains and vegetables. A lion eats meat. That's all there is to it.
The cow
There's nothing, no culture, no religious ideas.
No, everything is cultural. All your tastes are cultivated tastes. You will be surprised. You will be surprised. This does not know what you are eating. Even the salt is not salty.
I believe the reason that you and I are talking right now is because we were eating
You are talking.
rice and vegetables.
No,
If we would not have eaten rice and vegetables, we would never have developed the brain that we have right now. That's what I think.
My brain and your brain are not different. Even the brain of a genius is no different from yours. They have found out that this brain of Einstein was no different from that of a low-grade moron. They examined it after his death. They kept safely. So you will be surprised. It's no different from a walnut. I design everything.
I still believe that.
You eat your macrobiotic food and enjoy.
I am enjoying it.
Good. How long you will enjoy it is anybody's guess. Once a friend of mine invited me and fed me with macrobiotic food. I haven't recovered from that. It was 15 years ago.
You eat rice and...
I don't eat rice for an Indian.
You eat white rice?
No.
I've seen you eating rice.
No, where?
On the videos.
Videos.
But anyway, that's not the point.
Those who are feeding me know that I don't eat rice.
I believe that
It
mankind
doesn't matter.
has developed in the present state because of the food they eat.
I don't think so, but if you think so, it's fine with
Yeah,
me.
but you've heard his ideas and you repeat it.
I haven't found
No, but I see it happening around me.
If you believe it, you will
I see a person eating brown
you are
rice.
eating.
I see, for example, people who never heard about these ideas at all. A farmer in Indonesia who's eating brown rice. He has a totally different structure. He's a totally different human being.
There's a lot
And a West German who eats only bratwurst and
Yeah, but if you want to see it that way,
he doesn't know anything about this philosophy.
yeah, but
either.
if you want to see it that way, you
No,
know
it's happening. I'm not seeing it. It's happening.
who else seeing it?
It's an observation. It doesn't make
By
it.
who?
Not my judgment.
You are projecting your own idea on that.
Yeah, it's your idea.
Poor Indian.
You can never get out of it.
Give him bratwurst.
Wait, but here, let me tell you.
Maybe Germany.
He doesn't.
All these beautiful Germans.
Yeah, you see, the problem is you eat more than what the body needs. Overeating.
I agree with that. Yeah, I totally agree.
Overeating is the problem.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with that. You need very little.
Enough. Thank you.
Let's have some brown rice.
Brown rice. The look of it will make me sick. That will only
You're just saying that it's, I don't know, you like it.
I raised my son on minute rice, double polish, triple polish rice. He was working in a nuclear submarine in the United States
Nuclear submarine?
as an electronic technician, so nothing wrong with him.
Well, it depends how I look at it.
It's healthier than most health food freaks. Now, of course, he eats meat, he eats even human flesh, anything that he can get. But thank you. Sean, well.
Come on, Hank.
Sing something simple.
So we've covered everything.
That's the way I got to say in the first place.
Huh?
It's true. I mean, I agree. I mean, if you ask a question, you must know the answer. Otherwise, you
I
can't
don't
ask
have
the
any answers. You are answering your own questions. I am not answering.
Where do
Lately, I have been using this word ventriloquist question. Yeah. You know, you ask the question in one voice and answer yourself in another voice. That's all. All the questions we ask are born out of the answers we already have. Otherwise, you don't have any question.
Yeah, you couldn't ask the question if you don't know the answer.
Of course, you know the answer. You don't
Yeah, you
know.
must. Otherwise,
You
couldn't ask the
believe in brown rice, seaweed, and dirty hot dogs.
Yes, the hot dog.
And it's a song, I suppose.
Well, anyway, I'm not making a religion out of it.
You are.
It goes pretty natural.
You
Not
brought,
really.
you brought your own food to London, and you enjoyed that horrible meal of ours also.
Yes, but you know the
You
English.
ate with great relish.
I'm a very polite man.
You wanted a second helping. Don't forget that.
I'm very polite.
Yes, it's there on the video.
You see how polite I am. This
Second day too. And ask him for that.
Of course, he lost.
I'm not blaming you.
I'm blaming you.
He looks healthier because of that.
yeah, it was just chocolate there. Yeah, I did like it.
We started with some serious questions, ended up in strange.
In the restaurant.
Food is the most important.
So if you give up your beliefs, then you die.
Or you replace one belief with another belief.
Oh, you believe so? You might as well believe something nice.
It depends upon the
But you
situation.
like.
Yes, but you can't be without a belief. You can't be
No,
without
but then you better believe something nice.
what you call you is a belief.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I agree.
That's all.
Yeah, agree.
So if the belief goes, you go with it.
So if you
That's the reason why if you are not satisfied with the belief structure you are brought up in, you replace it with something else.
yeah, exactly. So if you believe that the world is one terrible place, then you have a terrible belief and gives
The
you...
world is what it is. The world is what it is.
Yeah, but if you believe it's horrible, then you have a horrible life.
We have, that's all.
That's all.
Yes.
If you believe it's nice, then you have a nice life.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with this world because the world can't be any different.
No. Yes, but it depends
So
how much
I'm
you believe.
interested in making a living on telling people that the world needs some change, radical change. Become a politician or a president of a nation, then it's a different story.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's what it is. We being what we are, the world cannot be any different. The world is not an abstraction. You and I living together is the world.
Yeah.
Isn't that enough?
Well, it's a thin line, you see.
So what I see is me. Basically.
You create me.
Yeah, I create you.
That's all. I don't create you for the simple reason that I don't have any image of myself here. So you have an image of yourself, and in relationship with that image, you create all the images around you, and that's the relationship you have with the other people. So the images are changing, constantly changing.
Yeah.
You are changing, the other person you have relationship with is also changing, but you want the image to remain constantly the same.
Same, yeah, right.
So many things are happening, constantly changing.
You created him.
I thought Hank did.
He's a do-gooder. What has not helped him is not going to help anybody. That's what I tell him.
This was the first time I heard it.
Just you.
Does it really work like this?
That's all.
My God. I think we should close.
If it has really helped you, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't talk about me. You wouldn't do anything. Sure.
Yeah,
Correct.
Correct. That's enough, I suppose. I've talked for how many minutes?
Long time.
1
Yeah, we're both right, I think.
46.
It's a thin line.
46 minutes you have there. Enough, that's the wrong piece.
So, if you have no image there yourself,
I have no image of you.
you have no image of me. But if you, that means if you have no image, you're dead, you're physically dead?
You see, death is just a definition.
No,
Yeah, it's a
you
definition.
came up with it.
Yeah, because you have no way of experiencing your own death.
No.
First of all, you will not be there. What you call you will not be there. You will not preside your own death, you see. So you describe the condition of a body, which is a cause, and give a name, just like the camera, man, chair, table. You call the condition of that body, which is not responding to the stimuli, the way it did before. You call it a cause. But the word death is something which cannot be experienced by the body. Because it is dead, as you say. Even while you are alive, you have no way of experiencing that you are alive. You tell me what makes you think that I am alive. You logically and rationally explain because of this, that, and the other. You are very much alive. So if you ask me, are you alive or dead? My answer would be, I am alive. Because you and I share the same knowledge about how a living being responds to the stimulus. That's all. So when that knowledge is not there, you have no way of experiencing, even now, whether you are alive or dead. So when once this is what you call death takes place, it is not the death that you experience, but the void created by the disappearance of that individual, and that individual and you cannot have the same relationship. It is that you experience, but not death. See, in that structure, memory structure, there is no precedent of a death experience there.
So the belief, in a way, is necessary for survival.
Yes. That
Any belief. Just
any belief.
Yeah.
Is that all? You have done so many things, you have achieved, accomplished, attained so many things, you have gathered so many experiences. All that is coming to an end. Is that all? If that is all, then it becomes very simple.
Yeah.
So, but you do not want to accept the fact that the whole thing is coming to an end. So others, those who are dead, live in your memory.
But what's coming to an end is basically this, the functioning, the way we perceive it, that's coming to an end.
That's coming to an end.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's
So
all.
you call it death. So otherwise you invent reincarnation, there is life after.
Yeah.
The whole
But that's the brain being afraid that the continuity is lost.
continuity, demands continuity.
Yeah.
Cannot come to an end. You know what the spirit is. I don't want to indulge in giving the root meaning of the word or the Latin. Spirit means breath.
Breath.
You know. So you breathe your last. Is that all? There must be something more than that. It is, breath coming to an end.
Yeah.
So you invented this spirit.
Yeah.
And whatever you experience of that spirit, the soul, anything, the entity, the psyche, is created with the knowledge that is given to us. So it is that you experience there.
Right.
There is no way you can separate yourself from that except through the knowledge.
The thoughts are very powerful because you really have the illusion that you feel it, that you really create.
You have to give life to it.
Yeah, right.
And experience it all the time.
Yeah.
Maintain the continuity of it.
Exactly.
Otherwise, the knowledge you have comes to an end.
Yeah.
What you know comes to an end.
Yeah,
You
right.
do not want that to happen.
No. Total panic.
Total panic, frightened.
Yeah.
That's all that is there. That comes to an end, and what you call death takes place there.
Yeah.
It says, a word we use to describe the condition of the body which is functioning differently from the way it is functioning when you are alive and kicking.
Yeah. So the only option we have, you can say, is choose at least pleasant ideas.
Pleasant, yes.
So that you don't feel too rotten or too stupid or too idiot.
You will get everything in your next life what you have missed in this life.
Is there a next one?
If there is.
If there is. There's no way of knowing.
And we create one beautiful one.
Yeah.
It's no comforting thought for those poor people in India who are starving. And all these people tell them it's because you did something terrible in your past life. You are starving and it is good for you, and in your next life you will be fed very well.
Yeah, but here we say you have a terrible time here and you will be great in heaven.
Yes.
Same.
Same.
Yeah.
Same story told in different ways. 10 different ways. So it is that has created misery for us. The idea of creating heaven on this planet is the one that has turned already heaven here on this planet into hell.
Yeah.
Our idea of creating a heaven.
But now heaven and hell is psychiatry or normal?
Normal. There is no such thing as a normal at all.
Yeah.
It's a statistical definition.
Yeah.
Who is normal?
Yeah. To be terrified, not to be normal.
Yes, but that's what we are trying to be all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I was yesterday in the press conference and everybody was talking about normal people.
There's nobody like a normal person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Should I get up?
Thank you.
Thank you. You are the boss.